Hello and welcome to another episode of The Realtor. My name is Robert Dongo. And you know what? We started the year with some tantrums here and there. We started with dramas here and there. And because The Realtor is here for you, we said we cannot let it go before we shine some light. Because we have always said that information is power, and therefore we are here to inform you as we educate you to bids. This time round, I want us to look into processes of buying land and also the cases of fraud that are there in the market, and what probably we can do to avoid the same. And if you fall victim, what are the steps that you should take? And more so, how far or to what extent does the law protect you? Welcome. This is the Rita once again, and I have a special guest once again, Wakili. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
You are not new to Realtor.
Yeah, very true.
I request that you say hi and you remind people your name and who you are in general.
Good evening, viewers. I'm Joseph Mugwero. I'm a current partner at Mugweru Ndege and legal associate.
Wakili, I know you're not, straight to the topic today. I want us to start from, do we still have people buying land and selling land legitimately in Kenya?
Yeah, currently there are people that are able to buy and sell land legitimately in Kenya.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you just have to do the right thing from the word go.
Yes.
And as I have said in the previous shows, if you are buying land, kindly involve an advocate of the High Court. You will never go wrong with an advocate. But every time we Kenyans think advocates are very expensive, we are out here to exploit people, but that's not our aim. We are just here to help you. Right. We are here to guide you, which is what the law tells us to do. Right. Yes.
And maybe even before we get to land, Bwana Wakili, I would love you to tell us, because I received this complaint when I was insisting that someone must use a lawyer, and they told me that even the lawyers themselves, we still have quacks in the industry. Is that true? And how can one get...
Yeah, there are still quacks in the industry, but there is a society called Law Society of Kenya, and they have a very nice platform that is called the Law Society of Kenya search, where right now if I was to log in or I was to type that and I type my name there, then it will come as an advocate and how many years I've practiced. So there is a way of finding if one is a quack or not. So at the end of the day, it's for you to do your due diligence.
Right.
Yeah, before you instruct a lawyer, because failure to which there are some people that are also being conned by lawyers themselves.
Exactly.
Or people purporting to be lawyers.
Right.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
At the very beginning of this year and part of last year, towards the end of December, we've been experiencing in the airwaves a lot of complaints, a lot of dramas for people who went buying land, but they did not get what they bought. Now, maybe you can set us to pace. What is a legit, or rather the legal process of buying land? Before we get to questions.
I think we first have to remember an interview we did quite another day with this show, where I explained the process step by step of buying land. And the first process I told our viewers to do, immediately I identified that Mr. Ndongo here is selling land. The next thing I should be doing is request for a copy of the original document.
Right.
That is the title deed. Plus, of course, nowadays the lands registry is asking for a copy of the vendor's ID. Yes. For me to conduct what we said is a land search.
Yeah.
Now nowadays again it's becoming quite tricky. You conduct a land search and it comes out very nice. But if you are able to do something deeper, or if you are able to instruct an advocate, I think the best thing an advocate is to do is to search what the green card says.
Right.
And a green card is a copy of records that show everyone who has owned that land. That is from the day of allotment to the current status. Has the land been, if the land has been charged with a bank, that is someone has taken a loan with it, that will help you. So at the end of the day, I'm telling you, advocates are very important. First, you do a land search, and then from now the land search, the advocate will guide you. Secondly, don't forget, as I had told our viewers, in Kenya, the only agreement that mostly you require to have it in writing, and under Section 3 of the laws of contracts is a purchase of land. So from a search, so I have identified that this land belongs to Mr. Ndungu, and the land has not, Mr. Ndungu has not taken a loan with it. Mr. Ndungu is not prevented from handling this land by any law. So the next thing is for me to do an agreement with a lawyer. Mr. Ndungu can have his own lawyer, I can have my own lawyer, or we can both share a lawyer. So after the agreement, then that is now when the other process starts. That is now the process of transfer.
As I was doing my background check, Bwana Wakili, I realized that most of people who fall victims, they may not have realized that there's this critical step of having an advocate, and number two, even the search. Why? Because to my understanding, they are swayed into the wave and the need, the urgency, quote unquote, urgency of having this land. Should that be a catalyst that is leading to people skipping your advice?
Buying land in Kenya is not buying bread in the shop. When I want to buy bread in the shop, at the shop, I'll just go give the shopkeeper my money and I take the bread. When you're buying land, there is a process. I don't understand this urgency of buying land that even before I conduct...
Wakili, itaisha ni 50 by 100 na zimebaki 10.
There is this saying that they say when they are selling you that land, the land never ends, it only becomes expensive. But at the end of the day, when I tell you they are 10, I can assure you those people might have not even sold one single piece.
Right.
It's just a marketing gimmick, and that is why people are falling play, because you want to buy land faster. Land is not, don't buy land in a hurry.
Kwa hivyo ni kama ile lugha ya stage inasemanga wawili wa mwisho na gari ni empty.
Yes, that is the language these people are using. And at the end of the day, this guy is a quack. Right. He wants to make his money very fast and leave. So we'll give you anything, tell you it's 10 plots, I don't know how many. It's just a marketing game. So
basically, Wakili, what you're saying is that this process, anyone skipping this is really doing a lot of harm to them.
Especially when it comes to a search. For example, if I buy land from you, Mr. Ndungu, and I later find out it does not belong to you, I go to court. Already I have a title deed. Another party comes in and claim that this land belonged to me and not Mr. Ndungu. The court will ask you, did you do a search?
Yes.
There is a principle in law we call innocent purchaser for value without notice. How do I prove that I am an innocent purchaser for value without notice? I did a search before I purchased this land.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you so much, and I believe we are getting it right. These are some of the basics that we must get right, because if you don't want to fall victim, you're gonna, of course, follow the right procedures and the right process before you get there. Don't rush. That's what Wakili is saying. Don't rush into buying land, because when you rush there, you might end up getting, yourself trapped into gimmicks and, of course, frauding that is taking place in our Kenyan market today. Wakili, as we end this first part of this engagement, do you think maybe if I did the search, and after doing the search, we have the agreement and advocate is in it, do you think I'm fully immune from fraudery?
You might not be fully immune from fraud, but you have done everything you'd have done.
Right.
Right? As a purchaser, you just need to do a search. The advocate is involved. And then again now, the advocate, you get the consent, that is from the board.
Sure.
And spousal consent. After that, you sign what we call a transfer form. After that, it is that transfer form you take to the registry for you to get the title deed. Immediately you get the title deed, I always encourage my clients, we must do a post-registration search. Okay. Those two searches stay with them. You might not be completely immune, but those searches will help you one day when there is an issue, and I am being told I bought land that never belonged to the purchaser, at the vendor, sorry.
Very important point here to note that we need to do a post-registry post-registration search. This is whereby the first search was reading Robert, the new one should read Jane, James, or put your name there, Daniel. All these names should go to you, because that's only affirmation that you have indeed the land has been transferred into your name as the buyer, the new buyer and the new owner of this very land. I believe that we are getting this knowledge and we are getting the information, because after this short break, we're going to be back now diving into the real issues that are there currently as we speak, and that's why today we have Wakili on set. Don't go away, we'll be back.
Untold Stories. Ahead on TV47 News tonight, former President Uhuru Kenyatta issues a rebuttal to the tax evasion allegations made by Kenya Kwanza politicians.
There are people who talk a lot about what they will do and do nothing.
Also ahead tonight, ex-IEBC chairman Wafula Chebukati threatens legal action against Azimio leader Raila Odinga following statements made by Azimio leaders during a rally on Sunday. Plus, the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union blames the government for the recent rise of doctors' suicide cases.
It is sad that a nation will spend so much on training its greatest minds into ennoble professions and leave them to toil and to suffer.
The union is now threatening to go on strike unless the government addresses the challenges faced by medical professionals.
Upgrade your DSTV package to enjoy all the content you love. That means if you're on Access and you upgrade.
Here, like you see, these are the fabrics we use for the sofas. Yeah, there are different types of fabrics. Sabak.
This is the best way to go. Eat color, eat raw, like this is a line.
Well, 2022 is behind us. 2023 is here with us. What are your plans? We here at TV47's Morning Cafe have great plans for you. We're talking about information, we're talking about entertainment, we're talking about the greatness for the year. So make sure that you're always with us every morning.
TV47, the home of untold stories.
Thank you and welcome once again. This is a Realtor. I remind you we are here for you just to unearth and to bring to surface everything that pertains to your process of acquisition, and also if you want to dispose. All this is found at and in the Realtor. I have a special guest today. This is Wakili Mogweru, who has been here teaching and informing us on the proper way of acquiring property without maybe necessarily falling prey to those who are out after your money, and remember it is hard-earned money. Before the break, we mentioned about what you should do before maybe getting into the process, and during the process and after process. That's why we have mentioned the post acquisition, post registration search, whereby you need to do double search for you to confirm that you are indeed the registered owner of that particular land. Now, at the very beginning, we said that at part of last year and early this year, we have experienced many people, the outcry of many. You have come to us asking of where you are going wrong, and that's why I said I'm gonna not answer, and we have Wakili because he is a practitioner and he knows the law better than I do. Karibu tena Wakili.
Thank you very much.
Now, let's start with why are people falling prey to this?
I think the first thing is people are rushing to cheap property.
Okay.
Yeah, because all these quacks that are selling land that they don't have, or I can call hot air, are doing it very cheaply. Right. You're told that this land, this size is this much. Again, Kenyans sometimes we trust very much. We trust these companies very much. We trust this vision we are being sold for very much.
Right.
That we forget to do what we have talked about in the first segment. So I think the first thing is people trusting very much, and people being sold for things that don't exist. Yeah.
So those are two major things that are maybe characterizing this. One is quick trust. Number two is the urgency to acquire cheap land.
Yeah, so I think I will add a third one is what these people, these quacks have, is greed.
Okay.
Because everything is catalyzed by greed. Why would I be selling you something I don't have ownership to?
Right.
Why would I be selling land that does not exist?
Right.
I am greedy, I want your money. And I think it's the first thing that these people all suffer from, greed.
Right.
Yes.
Now, in your years of experience, do you think that Kenyan law has really protected innocent Kenyans from falling victim?
Kenyan law is trying to protect, but you know, at the end of the day, it all falls on your hands. I enter into a contract with, let's say, a company X. A company X tells me that this property, they're in the process of transferring the title.
Right, right.
The first thing, if that is the case, I will be given the mother title to search. That means my portion of land can be sold to as many people as
right,
because there is no that first document that requires that shows that land really belongs to them.
Absolutely.
And it has been transferred to this person. So I think the law is very protective. There is a section 320 of the penal code that talks about what we call fraud. And fraud is classified as any acts of preparing registration documents by false pretenses and using those documents as evidence of ownership.
Right.
So at the end of the day, and that may attract a 1-year penalty. Also, yeah, that is the first thing now.
Right.
That is how the law protects you. Also, there is a court. So when it comes to section 320 of the penal code, that is a criminal case. You'll also have to pursue a civil case.
Right.
Where now the courts are going to declare your rights under the constitution and under the land regime.
Right.
So the law is there to protect everyone. It's only that we don't want protection with the law. We want shortcut.
And in this case, Wakili, is it that we don't want as Kenyans, or is that we don't know whether this law exists?
You know,
and how do we loop this gap?
You know, in Kenya, we say ignorance of the law is no defense.
Right.
So you are purchasing property, and this still goes to my first point. Get yourself a good advocate.
Right.
That is why we are here. I am here to help everyone that instructs me in their best interest. Do not be that person who wants to say that Mr. Know-it-all. And that is where we are going wrong. You might know, you want to buy property. You don't know what law governs property.
Right.
Just visit a lawyer, an advocate's chamber, and he's going to guide you.
Sure.
Yeah, so you cannot plead ignorance.
And now, where I'm so concerned about this aspect of ignorance is, Mr. Wakili, you agree with me, over years, maybe in the last 1 decade, Kenya has experienced one of the best fraud cases, fraud cases rather, whereby we have this company come, con people, vanish. This company come, con people, vanish. Another one come, con people, vanish. What is this gap that is in between the Kenyans and these people that are resurfacing every now and then?
Okay, I think the gap that is there is people mostly don't follow up. You follow up to a certain extent and give up.
Right.
Again, also there is an issue of corrupt, some state officers may be corrupt. I report a matter to the police, and because whoever is selling this land has money, it means then that they will go and bribe the police and everything will be fine.
Right.
So you see, that's the main thing.
Okay.
At the end of the day, again, corruption.
Now, we seek that, okay, there's this saying that these people can bear witness. Kenyan land is not growing. Population is growing, but Kenyan land is not growing. Now, I want to assume that people who may not have known the previous cases, but coming now, maybe let's say the recent case, they are victims. What do you think are these dynamics used by, the people practicing the same? What are these categories that are really leading Kenyans to buying from them?
The media is the greatest tool in marketing this thing. Every station you turn on in the morning, they are selling land. Every TV station, especially vernacular TV stations, they are selling land.
Right.
At the end of the day, I don't blame the media, because someone approaches you with a marketing proposal.
Right.
You do your simple background check.
Right.
And everything is okay. So at the end of the day, you see, you're also duped into this,
Right.
into this fraud. So So the first catalyst is the media. Secondly is these people we are calling influencers.
Right.
So a celebrity is seen in a certain land, advertising a certain piece of land, and because he has a following, definitely his following will want to know what land is this person X is
or
selling.
even buy without necessarily knowing. They trust me.
Yeah, they trust you. So at the end of the day, it's you. So at the end of the day, it's the media, celebrities, and serious marketing on the ground, to the extent that nowadays, every morning, especially maybe the route I pry to, there are like 4 or 5 agents giving us leaflets of land in certain locations.
Right.
Yes. So now, I'll continue seeing them and I say, I can try invest with these people. Right. And then the first thing you go there, we don't have a title deed. It's a certificate. We are waiting for the registrar to approve.
And do you think, Wakili, in the same light that the legit and, the genuine companies or sellers are using the same formulas to sell?
They're using the same formulas.
Right.
But now the problem is at this juncture, you cannot distinguish.
All right.
Now you have to be very wise. And you have to use what people call your sixth sense. You have to look at a company. Let's say, for example, I know of a company that deals very flatly. They are very frank with you. And that is usually the first thing. You pay for everything and then you're being told, oh, the titles would be out in I don't know how long, titles would be out after how long. If you hear of such a company, I'll just tell you, Mriferan.
So at the end of the day, we've got an open platform and market for everybody. Yes. Maybe something that may not be very okay with our viewers tonight. Tell us how, in your own thinking, it may not be 100% the only way. How do you identify these scammers in your own way? As Mugweru, when you go out
there? The first thing you would do when you encounter these scammers is they are always urgently selling the land to you.
So the agency aspect.
Agency. As if someone is about to dial something. Anyone with an urgent sense of selling you land and does not have all completion documents, that is a scammer.
Right.
And there is no two ways about it. I have told you land is not like buying bread. Right. Follow the 90-day process and everyone will be safe. So the first thing is the urgency. Secondly, these people usually come with very, very, very sweet deals.
Right.
Yeah. And as the Englishman said, when the deal is so nice, think twice. Yes. Right. Those are the main things.
Okay, so get this and get it very right, that when one is agency, the other one is how good the deal is. Yes. Because, and I mean too good for this matter.
And lastly, I think when you are done with your payment, people that are always telling you your titles will be out in 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks, that never come to fusion.
Mugweru Bwana Wakili, thank you. And again, I want to say this is the best gift for this year. You are parting short, kindly.
To our viewers, the only thing I would like to tell you is anytime you are going to do a land transaction, kindly consult a lawyer, kindly go on ground, kindly ask the neighbors of who owns that land, and if you can, kindly ask the local administrators. They will never take you wrong.
Right. Yes. Okay. Yeah. And the local administration part of it, I think as I was doing the background check again, Wakili, someone told me I was almost falling victim. Wale not for that mzee neighboring the project. Aliniambia your project, watu wanakuja hapa wanunua wanaenda, wanakuja wanaenda. Yes. And I think you got it right. Yes. Thank you so much, Bwana Wakili. So until next time, I want to appreciate this gift for the new year. And thank you so much for keeping it the Realtor. This show was very important, very critical to any potential buyer who is out there willing and wishing to get a portion of land in Kenya. Wakili has put it in black and white. What you need to consider for you to understand that a company or a seller is genuine. And also ways to consider, or rather red flags to show you that that company or that seller could be a scammer or not legit. So all this put together, you are safe, and that's why the Realtor is here. Could you be having any concern? Kindly rush to our Facebook page. That is the Realtor TV 47. Put it there. Wakili will be responding to your